Whether you know him as the Pin or Stat Daddy, everyone at WagerTalk family would like to wish Ralph Michaels a happy birthday, and we want to include you in on the celebration. Ralph Michaels celebrates his birthday on Saturday, November 19th, and until the clock strikes midnight, you can save 33% off any Ralph Michaels All Access All Sports package priced at $99 or higher using coupon code BIRTHDAY33. In the last 365 days, Ralph is number one in NBA winning percentage and NBA profit, number two in NHL winning percentage, at a current 80% NFL run going 20-5, and a college football run of 23-15, and it's an excellent time for a long-term package. With code BIRTHDAY33, you would pay only $66 for a 7-day all sports, all access pass, $199 for a 30-day, $499 for a 90-day, or under $26 per week for a 365-day pass. Happy birthday, Ralph, and take advantage of code BIRTHDAY33.
Welcome everybody to Wager Talk Today. It is Salmon Day at Wager Talk. Teddy's jacket, my shirt, and I've got a sandwich waiting for me with salmon right in it. You're watching the best daily sports betting show on the planet. Teddy, who's coming on, and will they be wearing salmon?
I don't know who's wearing salmon. I'm going to take the under on additional people wearing salmon on today's show. That being said, loaded Thursday show. We're going to start with Adam Trigger. Adam's going to break down Thursday night football in the NFL, the Packers and the Titans tonight. He's going to talk some college hoops, UMass and Colorado. Bryan Power's coming in next. He's going to talk a little college football, Navy and UCF, and a little NFL, the Colts and the Eagles. My big game breakdown is going to be the Raiders and the Broncos in Denver. And, of course, Jazzy Ray to close out the show. He's going to talk some NHL for tonight, Dallas and Florida, as well as Tampa Bay and Calgary. So we've got NFL, we've got college football, we've got college hoops. A little short on NBA today, but it's a short NBA card. We'll deal with it. That's the show, at least how it's on paper, Prez, for Thursday.
Yeah, we never know what might happen, especially when live streaming on YouTube. Teddy, when you crash, you crash. I mean, last night was a freaking disaster for me. Flat out, I lost almost every play. I did sleep. Thank God. I was very upset, and then I reminded myself, what the hell, Prez? Like, you literally can't win every day. You're killing it in NHL and NBA. You did it in baseball. You're up in NFL. Relax, breathe. Anyway, I'm still mad, but it's a big day for me today. I have a 5% play up in NHL. I did put it up before all my results ended last night, so I'm not on tilt. But it's a great play, man. I'm really excited about it. Adam Trigger! Bring that awesome hair into the show. Adam, you didn't get the note about wearing salmon?
I did not, Prez. I did not get the note about wearing salmon. I still have a BYU hoodie on because it was cold when I was in Provo, Utah last night, and now I'm back because I took a red eye back. Have not slept, but I'm here to do the show with you guys. So no salmon for me, but I got this pretty cool BYU hoodie at the team store before the game because it was freezing there. I didn't realize how cold it got there because it wasn't that bad in Vegas. It was pretty cold in Provo, Utah. So,
Teddy?
Well, I was going to say, so you were in Provo last night. You took a red eye home. You haven't slept. How was the game? Was it worth it?
It was good. It was buzzer beater good, Teddy. It ended on a buzzer beater. BYU won at the buzzer. I will say I'm not impressed with either of those teams. I think if you wanted to fade two teams this year, BYU and Missouri State could go right on that fade list. But it was a good game. 13,000 people for a non-conference game. There was pretty cool. That place, I think it holds 19,000. It's one of the biggest on-campus arenas in college sports. So pretty cool venue. Yeah, I've been all over the place the last few days. So I'm finally home, just in time to do the show with you guys. I literally got
home, Adam. Listen, I know you live close to Syracuse. Vivian and I were talking about coming in Friday. Goose and Trey are going to be playing in Syracuse. So if you have nothing to do Friday night, you got to go check that out. I don't know what you know about this band Goose. Spectacular. And of course, Trey Anastasia from Fish on stage right by your house. We were going to come, but the snowstorm is preventing that from happening. Let's get into it. So tonight we got an NFL game, as we do every Thursday night. Tennessee +3 against Green Bay. I'm in play. I have a prop bet on this game, and I am going to give my thoughts out in the daily presidential address later. I'm dying to hear what you're going to do. We do have a 3.5 out at DraftKings, but most of it is 3, and the total is 41. Where are you going in this game?
Well, Prez, I actually thought this was going to make my card. It hasn't yet. I have a pretty strong opinion. I like the Packers, but this is the beauty about like sports betting is, you don't have to bet everything that you kind of like, right? And it's like, it's close to making my card, but it didn't. So it's not going to be a client play, but I still do like the Packers here. And really, it's more of a fade of the Titans for me. I don't care. You cannot convince me that this team is not extremely overrated, overvalued right now. After not covering the first 3 games of the season, they've covered 6 in a row, despite the fact that they've only won the stats in their games once this season. That means 8 of 9, they've been outgained, out first down, etc. That's something I would want to fade. The Titans are going to be missing their center tonight, which is a concern. But the only reason I didn't step in with the Packers as like a best bet yet is they've got some injury concerns as well. Bakhtiari, I read, was potentially questionable. I know there's a couple others on the injury report, and it's on a short week. And then the other thing I have to ask myself, guys, is, was Sunday's performance against the Cowboys, was that a one-off, or is that the turning point for the Packers? There's some numbers that would suggest it is the turning point for the Packers. You look at Aaron Rodgers' numbers as the season goes along, November into December. On Thursday nights, the Packers have won and covered 7 straight, while the Titans on Thursday have lost and not covered 4 straight. So there's an interesting trend for this one. Aaron Rodgers, after winning as an underdog, 5-1 against the spread the next 6 games after winning as a dog. So all those things point me to the Packers. I would have loved it at 1. It's kind of crept up to 3, and I didn't get involved soon enough, guys, so I'm probably not going to lay 3. I'm definitely not going to lay 3.5, but I certainly wouldn't bet the Titans tonight, so I lean with the Packers.
So I want to bring Prez in for the follow, because Prez has been on a diatribe of late, talking about how Tennessee is the most undervalued team in the NFL, and no one's paying any attention to what the Titans are doing. And all they're doing is winning games and covering point spreads. And the fact that they have 18 guys on injury reserve doesn't matter because they keep winning games and covering point spreads. When you say all you want to do is fade Tennessee, like why? This is a team that all they do is win games and cover points.
Why? And on top of that, Adam, just to add to that, this Tennessee team, who not only continues to win point spreads and not only continues to win games, and not only continues to make the playoffs year in, year out, every one of their games, they're getting out-yarded, out first down. This is the same story from last year and the same story from the year before. This is a defense that bends and doesn't break. This is an offense that gets just enough to win. Baffled at the lack of respect. Go ahead.
Well, my quick answer to that is just look at their schedule, right? First 3 games, Giants, Bills, Raiders. They lose the first 2. So they would have covered against the Raiders. So lose to the Giants and the Bills. Raiders, Colts, Commanders, Colts, Texans, Chiefs, which they played a great game. I'll give them that. That was an excellent effort. They probably deserved to win. And then the Broncos, not exactly murderer's row, coming up at Green Bay on a Thursday, tough spot. Bengals, Eagles, they've got the Chargers coming up in there. They have the Cowboys on the road at Jacksonville. I don't see them replicating the against the spread record the next 6 games that they did the past 6 games. And I'll just
Teddy, if I can jump in. Adam, listen, they're 7-2 against the spread. Am I suggesting that they're going to go 14-4? No. But man, I wonder what you would have said, and I know you're a young kid here, but I wonder what you would have said about the Phil Simms-led New York Giants. Oh, they get out first down. Oh, their defense lets everybody run up and down, but nobody scores on them. They can't put up yardage. I wonder what you would have said about the Baltimore Ravens led by Trent Dilfer. If you have a running back that can average 5 yards a run, there is no team on the planet, including an all-star team, that you can't beat. Not saying that you're better, but you can't beat. This Tennessee team, so long as they keep running the rock and setting up the play-action pass, is capable of beating any team in all of football. That doesn't mean they're the best. And I'm not on Tennessee tonight. I'm staying off of the side because I got a bad feeling. I just feel like Green Bay is going to put something together. Anyway, Teddy.
Yeah, all that being said, Adam, last thoughts on this game. I came on earlier in the week and gave a big game breakdown talking about how I liked Green Bay minus. So I'm certainly with you, but Tennessee has been an undervalued commodity. Prez is right in that regard. Let's talk about the second game you'd like to discuss on today's show. A little college hoops action for tonight. Who do we got? Who are we going to talk about?
Well, first, and this is important, this game goes in about an hour. So this is one of those tournament games that's early in the day. But I wanted to come on and give it out because it is a 4% play for me. I have a client play on UMass plus 6. When I came on the show, I still saw UMass plus 5. I think that's perfectly, or 5.5. I think that's perfectly fine. In the WagerTalk college basketball guide, I broke down the Pac-12 conference. It's still up on Ralph Michaels' page for free. And one of the teams that I was really, sort of anti in that breakdown was Colorado. I put them 10th in my preview, lower than most people have Colorado this year. And simply, they didn't have anyone back. They didn't return a single double-digit scorer. I like Tad Boyle as a coach a lot, but I didn't think he had much to work with. And they may have had, Teddy, they might have had the biggest sort of one result to the other that you'll ever see. Colorado loses as a 15-point favorite at Grambling and turns around and wins as a 15-point underdog against Tennessee. Almost unexplainable. That's just what college basketball is now with teams, early in the season. But I think they're going to be more the former this year. Even with the fact that they pulled this ridiculous upset over Tennessee, I'm not high on this Colorado team for the reasons I mentioned. And then something that happens every year, you take them out of Boulder where they have an advantage and they're always worse. And so this will be a neutral court tournament game right here against UMass. And listen, UMass is a team that I have as a little bit of a play on. Frank Martin, their coach, he ends up there after being at South Carolina. And he brings in a whole new team, a bunch of transfers. But I'm willing to bet on Frank Martin because I've always liked Frank Martin. I think he's great with young teams and getting them to sort of come along. He did it at Kansas State. He did it at South Carolina. He brings in, players that I think could be good in the Atlantic 10. And even though they lost to Towson last time out, I think Towson's a pretty good team. So I don't put a ton of stock in that loss. They've had about a week to get ready for this game, whereas Colorado's been playing all weekend and just pulled a head-scratching upset over Tennessee. So I'm willing to bet against Colorado as a favorite coming off of that win. I actually like UMass to win this game. I'll take the points, but I think UMass is going to win here, guys. It's a 4% client play for me. 1:30 Eastern this afternoon.
Awesome stuff. Adam, Starchild wants to know if you like the over real quick, like literally yes or no.
No, because it's neutral court early in the day. Under.
There you go. Adam, Trigger, everyone. What do you got to promote?
Tonight, college football, 5% play. I went 4-0 in college football last week. I'm 13-5 on my last 18 5%ers, and I am number one units gained across all football at WagerTalk this season. And it goes tonight. It's in the SMU Tulane game. If you couldn't figure that out, it's the only college football game tonight.
Outstanding, my brother. Adam Trigger, everyone. You can find him at wagertalk.com. Teddy, what did we learn in the wonderful world of sports betting?
Let's talk about injury moves in the NBA, because last night was nuts. The Pacers were plus 2.5, plus 3. They closed -1 at Charlotte. That money was right. Minnesota, -5, but up to -8 at Orlando, the Magic sitting guys. That money was right. Atlanta, +2 to pick 'em, or -1 against Boston. That money was wrong. Toronto, +1.5 to -3.5 against Miami. That money was right. Cleveland, from +4 to +2 at Milwaukee. That money was wrong. Houston, +10.5 to +6.5 at Dallas. That money was right. The Knicks took money against Denver. That was a coin flip that ended up in the Knicks' favor. That money was right. Golden State, +2 to -2 at Phoenix. That money was wrong. So it finished 5-3 for the night after the Knicks Nuggets coin flip that came out in the Knicks' favor. But there's really no edge long-term betting on or against this injury info. Half of it was someone they hoped would play but didn't end up suiting up. It makes people crazy when they bet NBA. It's one of the reasons people hate betting the NBA or don't like it. I don't let it make me crazy. It ended up one good, one bad for me last night. No, Luka worked in my favor for Dallas, and their offense was awful without him, by the way. Houston came to win. That was a winner on the big game breakdown. The Celtics, minus Marcus Smart and Malcolm Brogdon, they drained 3 all night and still played championship-level defense. That was a loser, even though the injury info wasn't in my favor. So when it comes to the NBA, this is going to happen. Happened all year last year. Likely to happen all year this year. What you do is you take the best of the line when you can and try not to let the injury info make you crazy. Closing line value, again, we talked about it a bit last week as the arbiter. It's not the arbiter of all that is good or bad when it comes to sports betting. Much better to have winners at a bad number than losers with a closing line value. Bottom line in the NBA, again last night, showed me very clearly, try not to let the injury stuff make you crazy. It's going to happen. It's going to happen every night. Let the chips fall where they may. Just because you're on the wrong side of an injury line move doesn't mean you're going to lose the bet. Doesn't mean you made a bad bet. That's what I learned last night, Prez. Back to you.
Thanks, my brother. I've scoured through the chat. I remember a question, but I don't know. Oh, Fortnort. Fortnort wants to know my thoughts on gold. Real quick, I think it's a great investment right now. I've just actually recently purchased gold. I still think platinum is better. I told you guys about a year ago, platinum. It's up 22, 23% since. I love gold. I like platinum better. Bryan Power, welcome to WagerTalk Today, brother.
Yes. Thank you for having me, Prez.
Anything you want to add to what's gone on the show?
I'm kind of a young kid, I suppose, just like Trig. And to your point about Phil Simms, the New York Giants, what I would have said to you is I like Joe Montana and the Niners better.
Okay, but that wasn't my point. I like Joe Montana and the Niners better too. My point was, if you can run smash mouth football, and Brian, it's interesting because we have seen a massive drop in scoring this year to last. The totals as well as dropped this year to last. And the question is why? And what we're seeing, and this happens all the time in NFL and other leagues, but a lot so in NFL, is the passing game took over the league for the last 7-8 years. And as a result, the general managers have been drafting lanky, athletic linebackers and linemen. And now you have linemen like Aaron Donald or linebackers like Micah Parsons running around all over the league. What do the offenses do? They're like, hey, you want to put out a bunch of skinny dudes? We're going to run the ball. And that's where the transition has happened. So I find that very fascinating. Anyway, nobody wants to hear me talk. You're the guest. Let's get straight into it. College football. Navy plus 16.5 at UCF. How are you betting this game?
Yeah, Prez, so let's talk about UCF first. They're sitting pretty. Just need one more win to clinch a spot in the AAC championship game. They're a double-digit favorite here. As you mentioned, they're going to be a double-digit favorite next week against rival USF. So they're going to get that one win. They're going to be in the AAC championship game. But let's look back at what this team has been through the last 3 weeks. 4-point win over Cincinnati. That was a 5% play for me. Oh, by the way, even though the backup Keene had to come in. They go to the Liberty Bowl and win by 7 against Memphis. That's a Memphis team that I believe was 6-0 against the number as a home dog going back to 2017. So that's an impressive win. And then last week, a real big win by 7 at Tulane. 3-0 against the spread during that stretch as well. But I think it's fair to question what this Knights team may have left in the tank when it comes to covering a 3-score spread. Navy last week played Notre Dame tough. I think Notre Dame and UCF are neck and neck in my own power ratings. I don't know what you guys think about that, but a pretty comparable opponent there. Yes, I know Navy was down big at the half, 35-13, but for what it's worth, shut the Irish out in the second half, ended up outgaining them, 363-355. And speaking of the midshipman defense, gang, the secondary I know is not great, but they can stop the run, and that comes in handy when you play this UCF team. Midshipman defense, top 10 in the country, yards per rush allowed, line yards, and stuff rate. And lastly, a 5-0 against the number outside of Annapolis this season. That includes last week's game, which was played in Baltimore. Of course, all of those games decided by 10 points or fewer. And Service Academy is getting 2 touchdowns or more, Teddy. 65% against the spread since 2005, and specifically Navy. They are 6-1 ATS, their last 7 as a dog. 5-0, getting double digits. Which is number 1 in the country this season. So I like Navy.
Much like with Adam Trigger talking about the Packers, I'm not going to try to talk you out of Navy. In fact, I talked about Navy on Drew Martin's Every Game on the Board podcast yesterday in college football as being a team that I would keep my eye on this week. Here's my biggest concern about Navy, though, and I want to ask you about it in terms of this matchup. All right. Is Navy's offense going to work against UCF's defense? Because if it doesn't, eventually they're going to wear down. And the other question I have is, did they use up all their energy last week trying to rally back against Notre Dame after facing Cincy the week before? Does Navy still have enough in the tank after this? All they have left is Army. And that probably a more important game than this one for the Middies.
Yeah, sure. And I thought about that point, Teddy, about, okay, close loss to Notre Dame. You got to be disappointed. But because they were down big at the half, I would be more concerned if they would have been close at the half or winning and let the game get away. I hate the word momentum, but I'll use it here anyway. I think a strong second half like that can lead to a much better start. I don't think UCF's going to get off to as good a start as they did last week against Tulane. They were up 10-0 like 4 minutes into that game. So it is key to your other point about the Navy offense. They must control clock. They usually do a good job of that. I think they average over 34 minutes time of possession. And defensively, you got to limit the big plays in the passing game. The secondary is my biggest concern for Navy in this game, but I think they can control clock and stay within what is a pretty generous spread.
Bryan Power, everybody. Bryan, you are new at WagerTalk. You used to be a covers expert. Are you enjoying your time with us?
Yes, absolutely. It's been great. Everyone's great. Love coming on these shows. Love talking to you guys. Teddy, I don't know if he believes me, though. But no, I couldn't be more honest. It's been great so far. And, we're running pretty hot, too. So that makes the experience even better, I think, on this end. We're having a great college football season. Continued last night with Miami of Ohio, getting it done. But yeah, no complaints whatsoever. So
who's the MVP at WagerTalk so far?
Oh, here we go. You are, Press.
Fuck. Screw. It's gotta be Johnny's team. Missy and M2.
Yeah.
Missy and M2 are our MVPs. Shout out to the two of them.
Yes, absolutely. They're great. I actually went back and forth had a little talk with them actually this morning. They're great. They make the experience just tremendous here.
Yeah. Guys, our customer service is world class. I mean, I'm telling you, if you have any issue, if you buy a play, it's not up, email in. Just email in and send love to them. I mean, we have a world class customer service team. And that is for sure. Brian, continuing on with football, some NFL, the Colts playing the Eagles. I'm fascinated by this game. I can't wait to see it play out. You know, I like the Colts. I loved them. They were at 9 at one point, 7.5. In the middle of the game against Washington, it was 7.5, and then bam, 6.5. I love the Colts. I think the Colts could win this game outright. Where are you going?
Yeah, I like the Colts too, Prez. Look, Eagles off their first loss. I think a lot of people are going to take a look at this differently than you and I and say, all right, Eagles first loss of the year. They're going to bounce back. The Colts, they kind of stink, coaching change. But I don't see that. Jalen Hurts is 5-10 against the number on the road in his career, 4-6 straight up when he's off a loss. This is a short week for the Eagles, obviously, coming off Monday Night Football. And their defense was on the field for more than 80 plays Monday night. I thought Washington had an outstanding offensive game plan to play keep away. So short week is never ideal, but I think it's particularly tough this week for the Eagles when they were on the field for so long. And let's look at this line. Favorites, I know it's come down a little bit, but if you can get 7, favorites of 7 or more this year, 12-22 against the number. That's the worst start in 20 years. The Colts, they seem re-energized with the Jeff Saturday hire. I know we all were skeptical of that, but he didn't do anything egregious last week, at least not that I saw, against the Raiders. Matt Ryan back at quarterback. The Raiders aren't a team I have much affinity for, but the Colts, all but 3 of their games this year have been one-possession games. They should have more wins. They outgained Houston severely back in week 1, Prez, you know this. And then a couple weeks ago, they blow a 2-possession lead in the last 5 minutes against Washington at home. That was unacceptable. They've only played 2 bad games all year, one of which was with Ellinger, a quarterback, against Bill Belichick. So they're outgaining opponents on a per-game basis, on a per-play basis. I think that the Colts are a pretty competent football team. And I like what I saw from Jonathan Taylor last week, too, guys. 147 yards on 22 carries. So I like the points with the Colts as well, Press.
So in the last 2 months, the Colts have, 3 wins. They beat Denver in the ugliest Thursday night game any of us have ever seen. They had a win against Jacksonville when the Jags were losing, 5 or 6 in a row. And then last week they beat Vegas. A week ago, we were all talking about the Eagles as one of the best teams, or a top 3 team in the NFL. And the line here is less than a touchdown. Is there still value at this price to take an Indy team that hasn't beaten anybody good since September against a Philly team that, if you read those Eagles quotes coming off the Monday night loss, they didn't sound flat. They sounded pissed off. I had Indy on my short list, and I threw them out after I read those quotes. It looked to me like Philly might be coming to play this week. And if they do, there's no comparison between these 2 teams, is there?
No, probably not. I mean, at least on paper, based on what they've done. The Colts' point differential obviously kind of speaks to what you were talking about with them. It's down near the bottom. But I don't think they're as bad as that point differential. Again, I come back to the fact that while they don't win necessarily, they play the opponents close. And okay, under a touchdown, do I like it maybe a little bit less? Sure, but we don't have to worry about them blowing a late lead still at this price. I think they can hang within the number. The short week, a fatigued defense for the Eagles. I know that they said all the right things, Teddy, but that does, saying and playing are 2 different things. So I'm going to stick with the Colts here as a home underdog. I believe an undervalued team in the marketplace right now.
Yeah, well put, Brian, and we'll talk about promotions first, but I want to add something to Teddy's question. So Teddy's question was we. So I just want to take the we part away, because this part of we never thought Philadelphia was one of the top 3 teams in football. Teddy came into the season loving Philadelphia. Teddy had Philadelphia in his top 3 in the power rankings. I look at Philadelphia and I'm like, oh, they beat Houston. Oh, they beat Pittsburgh. Oh, Dallas without Cooper. Arizona. Jacksonville, which they almost lost, by the way. Then Washington. A good win against Minnie. So 1 win of substance Philadelphia has. So take the we out. Do I think they're a top team in the league? I think they're top 10. And I think they have a chance to make a run. but I don't think they're this all-world football team, Theodore.
No,
Okay,
I would agree
well-
with you. That's an. Oh, I'm sorry. I should have countered with that. By
Brian,
pointing out the
you
schedule.
go, dude. Brian, go.
No,
Talk.
no. I think you laid it out because I think the counter is exactly what you said. When you look at, okay, the Colts haven't beaten many people, but the Eagles haven't beaten anyone of substance since that. I mean, they look very impressive, but that Monday Night Football game against the Vikings was what, week 2? Off the top of my head, I'm thinking it was a while ago. So yeah, and I would concur.
They
I've got 'em
almost
number
lost
2.
to Detroit. They almost lost to Detroit. They almost lost to Jacksonville. They couldn't put Houston away. Not buying it,
They
Teddy.
didn't almost lose to Detroit. They had a 17-point fourth quarter lead and allowed a backdoor touchdown and then another backdoor touchdown.
Okay,
they
fair enough. I was
dominated the
just
game
going-
against Detroit.
Okay,
They
go,
beat a
Teddy,
Dallas
go.
team that was 4-0 with Cooper Rush behind center. And that was the first game that Cooper Rush looked bad. So the one win they had, I guess it's 2 wins maybe. And we didn't tell people, you're like, oh, buy gold now, buy gold. All right. We didn't tell people to buy Bitcoin at 25. Okay.
Dude, I agree. And by the way,
all right. So
I
if
say
we're
buy
going to give out
Bitcoin
financial
right
advice,
now.
we don't call Aaron Donald a svelte pass defender. Okay, on
well,
this
he's
show.
felt
right?
he's felt compared.
He's a
to the
350-pound man on the defensive line. The word you
Do
were
you
looking
remember
for was
what
cornerback.
was the name?
Not
Teddy, what
defensive
was the-
lineman. So if we're going to
Okay,
start
breathe.
point, there's
Breathe,
all kinds of
dude.
stupid crap you've said on this show, Prez. I'm all
Oh,
over
so
it.
are you?
Shut
oh, so
up,
are you
Brian. What do you have to
justifying
promote?
your stupid crap? So you're admitting that your crap is stupid and justifying it by explaining that I give out stupid crap too. Okay, fair enough. Brian, what do you got to promote?
I don't think either of you guys. I think you guys are both great, man. So thank you for having me on, as always. Pleasure to be on the show. And yeah, things are running good. I kind of alluded to it earlier on. We're number 1 in college football this season, number 2 in net units with all football behind Adam Trigger, who was just on the program, obviously, and up over 100 units last 6 weeks. So can't complain. Feeling good. Got the 5% play in NFL tonight. And then, yeah, we're looking ahead to the weekend. Should be a big one. I should have most of the card, if not all of it, ready within the next 24 hours, both Saturday and Sunday.
Awesome
There you have
stuff.
it.
Dan is texting me. Teddy, I love scrapping with you, bro, but man, do you get smile, bro, smile. Okay, quick break, everybody. Teddy's big game breakdown. Jazzy frickin' Ray. And if you want a daily presidential address, and I have a shit ton of plays to give you, let's get to 100 likes. Dan, cue it up.
Have you checked out all the new handicappers at WagerTalk? If not, here's your chance. You can take 50% off your first daily or 3-day all-access purchase at WagerTalk using coupon code TRYWT. Our new roster of experts is 30 deep, covering sports from all around the world, giving you tons of options to choose from. All you have to do to redeem this offer is go to WagerTalk.com, choose a handicapper of your choice, and use coupon code TRYWT at checkout, saving 50% on your first purchase.
It is time for today's big game breakdown. Let's talk a little NFL on Sunday. Living here in Las Vegas, you get a whole lot of Las Vegas Raiders news. And this is a team that I have a strong opinion on once again this week. Right now, look at the WagerTalk live odds screen. It's a split line right now. There's Broncos -2.5 or Raiders +3. Be sure to get the best of the number, whichever way you decide you want to play this game. Total sitting at 41, a couple of 41.5s out there. And look, my thought process here is very simple. I want to fade Las Vegas. The concerning quotes from the locker room, this is 2 weeks in a row. There have been really concerning quotes from the locker room where players aren't buying into McDaniels, where Carr is shooting arrows ahead of his teammates, where Devontae Adams is shooting arrows on Carr. There are issues in this locker room. It's clear. All right. Vegas, 0-5 straight up, 1-4 ATS on the highway. They've not exactly played their best football. Away from home, it's going to be cold and nasty in Denver this weekend. When Denver can run, they can win. All right. It's a Broncos team that's faced a bunch of good defenses this season. Vegas allowed 6.9 yards per carry last week. That is a problem. And when you look at these two defenses, it really is a mismatch. Denver, number 1 in the NFL yards per play allowed at 4.6 yards per play. Vegas, number 30 in the NFL, 5.9 yards per play. That means every snap, Vegas opponents are gaining 1.3 yards more than Broncos opponents. That matters in this point spread range. Give me Denver minus the points. It's a 3% client play. I got the full write-up posted on my page over at WagerTalk.com. There's your big game breakdown. Back to you, Mr. Prez.
Damn it, Theodore, we disagree again. What is going on with us today, man?
Surprise, surprise.
Yeah, like it's funny. So, guys, the NFL presidential address is going up today. I like Vegas. I'm not going to be betting this game. I couldn't decide what to do here, Teddy, and then a 3 came out, and I'm thinking, man, like, who would I? Denver minus 3? I don't know if they could beat the Argonauts by 3 right now. You know who they
can
are?
Beat the Argonauts by 3. I think they can beat the Raiders by 3. In fact, I think they can beat the Raiders by more than 3, but we'll lay 2.5.
Okay, so if they win, if they beat the Raiders, you will do next week without a blazer. If they don't, I will blazer it up the whole week.
No. And next week's a short week for me. I'm only in on Monday and Tuesday.
Okay. Jazzy Ray! What up, brother? Welcome to Wager Talk Today.
Yes, sir. How you doing, gentlemen?
Good. Listen, love the jacket. Be careful not to slip. That thing, you'll slide all the way down Whistler right into that lake.
Well, you know how it goes. I want to be shining like a diamond here tonight with a bit of a tiptoe after last night. Lost that last.
You were right. Yeah, Jazzy was Jazzy had a 5% play on Ottawa over. I actually had the same play. There were 14 power plays in that game. Literally over a third of that hockey game was a power play, and it did not go over. But, dude, I want to congratulate you on just a sick start to the hockey season. Number 1 in profit over at Wager Talk. Been extremely consistent. Your hockey has been outstanding.
Yeah, thanks, Prez. There's only one guy right now that's over top of me in the last 30 days. Actually, 2. Las Vegas Chris and yourself. So props to you as well.
Oh, I'm coming for you, dude. I mean, I'll congratulate you on being number 1 right now and an awesome start, but I'm coming for you, and I got a 5% up tonight. So if I win mine and you lost yours yesterday, that's a 10-point swing. Anyway,
there we go.
We got Dallas playing Florida tonight. Jazzy, Dallas is the 2nd highest scoring team in hockey. Where the hell did that come from? And Florida, they're middle of the pack. How do we bet this game?
Yeah, you know what, guys? I really love the over in this game. Dallas is starting out on a 3-game road trip out east. You know, we've got to keep a little bit of an eye on what Dallas has been doing here. They've lost 3 of the last 4 games, and they've lost 3 of the last 4 games due to their defense, right? So right now they've allowed 16 goals in their last 4 games. That's the key. And then on the other end, they can score. You nailed it, Prez, when you said that they can score. They're filling the goals. They've got, an unreal power play right now. And they're facing a Florida team that, isn't the best and in terms of defense right now either. So I've got Dallas totally going right at them. I mean, the Florida on the other hand, they can pile up goals themselves. They're averaging 3.8 goals a game right now. And, I see this game have nothing but overwritten all over this.
Teddy.
Let's talk about Tampa Bay and Calgary. We're seeing nothing but Calgary money this morning. Tampa was as high as I saw -140s, -150s last night. minus 125 overnight. Now it's like minus 120 for Tampa. So the money's clearly coming for Calgary. Total here sitting at 6. There are a couple of 6.5s out there. What do we do with this one? Is the price cheap or is the price expensive for Tampa Bay tonight?
Yeah, guys, I see this price is very, very cheap. Calgary Flames are getting some money over there. People are forgetting they lost 7 in a row and then came back with 2 wins, right? That hasn't changed the outlook of this Flames team. They are still not a good team, right? You're meeting Tampa right now. That is one, 6-4 in their last 10. They've won their last 2. I just don't see the Flames do not have the firepower up front to deal with this Tampa Bay defense and take care of them, right? I see Tampa Bay being cheap money for us. Rare for us to get Tampa at this price. I'm all over Tampa. I see them possibly even covering the puck line in this one.
Jazzy, I don't agree with you on this play. I don't disagree. There's no value on betting Calgary at plus 100 on the road against Tampa Bay. It's a shitty line. But I'm telling you, man, guys, I'm telling you, Calgary is a bet-on team. They are a buy team moving forward. They are going to go on a roll. But I don't agree with you, but I don't disagree because I just hate the line here, man.
Yeah, one of the turning points for me in this one, especially, was Markstrom being in goal. I mean, let's face it, he hasn't done very well. He's got a 3.47 goals against average right now. I mean, that's the turning point right there. He's rating amongst one of the worst goalies in the league right now. I think he's 52 out of 55 or something like that. But that right there gives me the edge totally on cheap price.
I mean, I think he's going to turn it around. Same with Demko. Jazzy Ray, everyone, what do you got to promote?
Yeah, guys, I've got a full card here tonight. I've got some college basketball. I've been smoking hot in that. Went 4-1 last night. We've got I'm hitting, as you alluded to before, NHL is just smoking. I've got a solid play out tonight for you guys to cash in on, all of my customers. We've got some NFL, 14-4 on props. I've got a beautiful prop here for you guys tonight. So, yeah, we're ready to smoke this thing out.
Excellent stuff, Jazzy Ray, everyone. Teddy covers. So, I know we're up against it, but we're going to discuss something quick. So, in the chat room, people are saying that you are not as angry and frustrated and ornery, whatever the word is, on all the other shows. On this show, you always look angry. So,
yes.
I bring the worst out of you. Is that what is going on here? I literally bring the worst out in you.
Pretty consistently, yes.
How does that make you feel?
You're like a toxic girlfriend. That's what you are. You're like a girlfriend that I should have broken up with 3 years ago. You know.
So I'm an annoying, frustrating girlfriend with mad skills that you can't get rid of. Is that what you're saying?
I'll take the under on the mad skills.
Okay. Well, I don't want to bring the worst out in you, dude. It's not what I try to do. I love you, and I want you happy. I don't know how to make you happy when you wake up like a frickin' annoyed. When you get up, dude, is it like, fuck you, alarm? Damn it, man. Like, is it an instant I'm annoyed?
No, I don't walk around my day grumpy all the time. I really don't. It's mostly you, Lawrence. It's mostly you.
Yes. You know what? Screw it. I'm going to bring the worst out in you. I'm just going to.
Hopefully it makes for entertaining.
It certainly does. And none of this shit's scripted. None of this stuff is scripted. Dan, cue it up, baby. Okay. So I love the NHL card tonight, man. I could have bet every game, but I'm a low volume NHL bettor for my clients. I picked my favorite game on the board. It is a 5% play. I think this is my fourth 5% play of the year, or third or fourth, whatever the case may be. It's not a play that I give out often. Make sure to grab that as well. I have an NFL prop bet up, 3 college basketball and 1 NBA play. So head over to my page and make sure to play my 5% NHL total. My record is ridiculous. Teddy always wants me to give it out while I do the sales, but we got to move on and talk some bets. Okay. I like the Columbus Blue Jackets tonight, -110. I'm not high on the Columbus Blue Jackets overall, but if you listen to the quotes coming out of the dressing room when they were in Finland, this was one of the maddest teams around. I think we're going to get the best effort. They're playing Montreal. Montreal's record suggests that they are a good team. They are not. They will come back to the means. I like Columbus. I like Winnipeg in regulation tonight. It's actually one of my favorite plays. They're going to wallop this Anaheim team, and I'm really high on Winnipeg overall moving forward. And the New Jersey Devils are on a 10-0 game, a 10-0 win streak. They're playing the Leafs tonight in Toronto. The line was -150 when I went to bed. The Leafs are now -138. I would put that out as a client play. I'm not going to. I'm giving it out here. But the Toronto Maple Leafs at -138 is an incredible bet. I also like the under in tonight's football game. I think we're going to see a ton, and I mean a ton, of running with both Aaron Jones and Derrick Henry coming out of the backfield. Teddy, my brother, that's the show. Wrap it up and take us home.
I'll be happy to do that, Lawrence, because that's going to wrap it for the Thursday edition of Wager Talk Today, your sports central for gamblers, each and every weekday, 9 a.m. here on the left coast, noon for you back east. We'll do it again tomorrow, same time, same channel. Between now and then, you know what to do. Enjoy the games, and good luck with your wager.
How many handicapping groups can say they're around before Twitter, MySpace, AOL, Sunday morning cable infomercials, beepers, and 1-800 numbers? Founded in 1957, The Gold Sheet is the country's longest-running sports betting newsletter and has served bettors for over 6 decades. So between 1957 and now, if you have not checked out The Gold Sheet, here's your chance for only $1 per day. Head to goldsheet.com and just go to Buy Now or click the special box on the main page to get both the NBA Gold Sheet and College Basketball Gold Sheet newsletter for only $7. For just $1 per day, you will receive projected scores, spread and totals, power ratings and strength of schedule, teams straight up, against the spread, and over-under records and their season average line for both sides and total. Plus, tons more handicapper information to help you bet with confidence, and of course, tons of picks. This offer is for a limited time only, so act fast and head to goldsheet.com and try it out for 7 days for only $7. You'll be glad you did.